En nombre de San Cipriano y Santa Justina, patrón y patrona santa de este linaje camasquero, bienvenida sea mi buena hermana Yola Dunne a estar a este encuentro de culturas, a esta unión de corazón, de alma y de mente, en el cuerpo del gran trabajo de la Pachacuti Mesa Acnana. Welcome, my beloved sister Yola Dunne, supreme mentor of the Pachacuti Mesa tradition, cross-cultural shamanic arts. This is a time for you to shine and illumine the rest of the world about how you came on this path and how walking this path has evolved and transformed your own self as a light in the world. So I want to first of all salute you with the Rainbow Tribe salutation. And open the space for you to answer two questions, my beloved. The first is, what initially drew you to this lineage, to this tradition, and to wanting to become a Pachacuti Mesa sanctioned teacher?
What initially drew me was the tradition itself. I feel it called me through the ethers, through the background, and through nature. And it was a time where just before the Shift Network classes were beginning. And I received little messages. I felt like the tradition was calling me. When I saw on an introductory class, I signed up. And within that class, you told a story on how to find our Pachamama Kuya. And I was wondering, how is this going to work online? It was a very simple guided journey. It was the beginning of April. And there were no stones in this particular environment. There was snow everywhere. But I was open to the forces that had called me. I went in with the full open heart. And in my vista, in my vision, I saw this most exquisite, shining Pachamama stone. And I thought it was impossible for me to find it. There was snow everywhere. So I continued and I went out in nature to the path. I actually tried all the other paths, but the one that I saw in my vision, until I finally went to it. And lo and behold, I turned a corner and there was one face for this specific Pachamama Kuya, which is called Sparkling Miracle, was shining. This was about a month into the introduction of the Pachacuti Mesa tradition. And the magic and the beauty and how much it drew me in. There were no words to explain. That was one portion. The other draw was when we first met in person in Petaluma. The presence of Don Celso and the lineage was so strong. And at one point I found myself alone in the lodge and couldn't help but go to my knees in front of the central altar, in front of your altar, the lineage. And in full silence and remembering and opening in devotion, I offered myself as a servant, as a living, breathing, embodied soul to the lineage. And the rest is history. That was a very remarkable moment for me.
Thank you, my love. Beautifully articulated sources of guidance that reside within yourself, that were manifest in the outside world in the form of the kuya or the rumi that you saw in your vista, that eventually you found in the midst of this snowy landscape, as well as the feeling of resonance with the magic and power of the ceremonial space that you encountered, the sanctity of that space that you encountered when we were in our in-person first gathering. Both of them, from what I hear you saying, contain deep resonance at a soul level for you. Because you, as I know, were enmeshed in this search and this path of spiritual awakening for many moons before you came upon this path. What I hear you saying is that your inner and outer expressions as a healer, as a servant of the all, consolidated as you experience these teachings as well as the living community of our tradition. So thanks for showing up, sister. I hope I heard you properly.
Mm-hmm.
The next question I have for you is, how has being involved in this work, this great work, most significantly transformed, changed you, or helped you evolve? In what most significant way do you feel you've changed as a result of being a sanctioned teacher of this lineage?
The most significant way is by being more of a hollow bone. The ability to surrender to the divine forces and earthly forces that permeate our inner and outer worlds in all dimensions of time and space. So my multi-dimensional beingness has bloomed like a kaleidoscope of beautiful lights in service to not only self, but culture and Pachamama and the cosmos. It doesn't end right here. So it has expanded me in such a way that my presence upon Gaia Pachamama, the integrity and the devotion in my earth walk, the ability to be a sustainer of the worlds, a Pachatusan, a mountain on her own. All these contribute to the foundation of who I am and those I serve. And there are many co-creative beings. What can I say? I love it, this. I love the great work, the remembering of the initiates throughout the ages, the remembering and the being and the wanting to offer to the 7 generations and to all our relations.
It is most fun to be a link in that golden chain of initiates, of the Audiakatina. Fun in the sense that you get to immerse yourself in the Puhyai Kausai, the game of life. For unless you know how to play the work just becomes a lot of drudgery. And you seem to have embodied the ability to really be joyous and play at being a teacher, a healer, a guide for others that are seeking that playfulness within the great dance of creation. And I thank you deeply for showing up and being part of the tribe. And my heart loves you and my body honors you in a manner that that strengthens the resolve of this path within our entire community. That said, are there any last words that you may have that you feel are important to impart?
Yes. I am immortal in being, beyond form, fearlessly free to be, all worlds, times, and places. That's sun and me.
Highly! Love you, sister. Thanks for showing up and helping disseminate our tradition on this earth and beyond. Ciao.